This changes everything for the Boston Celtics, who are currently questioning the future of Jaylen Brown. Is he going to be on the team? Is he not? Is he going to be moved during this NBA draft process? Well, folks, we are here to discuss that today, as I am Kellen Frangione, your host with Celtics Digest. And Brad Stevens yesterday had a lot to say talking about this whole Jaylen Brown situation, this Giannis fallout, all of these different things. The Celtics and the Jaylen Brown news cycle has been absolutely constant for the past week or so, and I don't see that ending anytime soon. Jaylen Brown, he could be moved. Is he going to stay with the team? How is he feeling? Brad Stevens covered a lot of this in a press conference yesterday. And folks, I'm here to tell you about it. But before we get any further into this video, I want to tell you guys about Prize Picks. Prize Picks is America's #1 sports picks app. Play $5 and get $50 instantly when you use code DIGEST while signing up. We really appreciate it if you use our code. It helps out the channel. It gives us more resources to make better videos, to get them out faster, and to cover stories like Jaylen Brown and this whole Giannis saga better than we were able to before, guys. So make sure you sign up and use code DIGEST. And when you do, I'm going to give you some picks later on in this video and tell you a little bit about some promotions that Prize Picks always has going on. But now back to it, folks. What has happened with Jaylen Brown since he definitely knows that he was part of a package for Giannis that eventually failed, didn't go through. The Heat got him. We saw what happened there. The draft passed by yesterday, at least the first round. The second round is ongoing at the time of recording this. Could he still be moved? Well, apparently that's not completely out of the picture, as a report has come out saying the following from Shams Charania, ESPN's senior NBA insider. He said the Boston Celtics are reportedly actively negotiating trade talks with several interested teams. The urgency from either side may change as his future in Boston remains uncertain. Folks, there's a lot of question marks. There continues to be question marks with Jaylen Brown. Are his feelings hurt? Is he okay? Has Brad been honest with him throughout this process? Well, Brad answered a lot of those questions in his presser after the first round of the NBA draft, where he said a lot of things, including this. Let's start with this here. Brad Stevens said the Celtics met with Jaylen Brown at the end of May and before he went overseas earlier this month, sitting down and spending time together. They've been in regular touch with his agent across recent days. His name being splashed all over the place, that's not easy, is what Brad Stevens said verbatim. So it seems that Brad is being his typical self. He's being a professional GM, and he's being honest with Jaylen Brown. He's being talked about. He knows that he's putting Jaylen Brown in talks. Jaylen Brown knows this. They've been in touch. They have a good relationship. So perhaps Jaylen Brown is not upset. We know that he was in trade talks in 2022 for a package that would have landed Kevin Durant from the Brooklyn Nets that also didn't go through. We saw what happened. Jaylen Brown stayed. 2 years later, he won Finals MVP. He's an NBA champion with the Celtics. So could a similar situation happen here where after all of this talk, Jaylen Brown just ends up staying and running it back with a similar team with hopefully some positional upgrades? It seems possible, but there's more from this presser to get into. He also said the following right here. Steven said you'd have to ask Jaylen the impact of the rumors, referring to the Giannis rumors. He said, quote, "It's not fun," and he said he wanted to be as candid as possible with Jaylen. So once again, Brad Stevens not trying to hide anything, being honest, not trying to create any bad blood. Jaylen Brown is a core part of this Celtics team, as we know, Finals MVP, champion duo, the bread and butter with Tatum. We know what he is to this team. We know how much value he holds. That's why this whole Giannis thing was pretty crazy. A lot of people were questioning why Jaylen Brown should even be thought of as being moved in the first place. Well, the NBA landscape is changing. The Knicks won the title. A lot of things have shifted. There's parity in the NBA, 8 different champions over the past 8 seasons. So the Celtics were maybe thinking they should have made that radical move for Giannis. They made an offer. They got refused. But there's further things. Brad Stevens also said the following: I don't want to look at the future, but I look at it as this is our team. Again, referring to Jaylen Brown. This is our team. This is not just his. This is not just Brad Stevens. This is not just Tatum. This is not just some one person's team. It's not just Joe Mazzulla's team. It's our team. It's a collective. He still is trying to look at it that way, even with Jaylen Brown's name being thrown into deals, even with Brad Stevens himself being the one putting Jaylen in these talks. He's still looking at it as our team. What does that entirely mean? Well, I think once again, I think it's just thinking of the team as that collective, as trying to keep things together, even when things are getting tough, even when names are being thrown around. I think Brad Stevens is saying a lot of good things here. He also finally said the following right here. Jaylen Brown's a big part of us. I'm never going to be predicting the future. Every indication, everything I've been thinking about the last few years has been building around those guys, referring to Brown and Tatum. You never know. But the one thing I want to make clear is how valued he is, referring to Jaylen Brown. He wants everyone to know. He wants it clear. Jaylen Brown is still a major, major part of this team. He is extremely valued, as he should be. He deserves that respect after having the best statistical season of his entire career, leading the Celtics during a year with an injured Tatum to the 2 seed in the Eastern Conference, above the eventual champion New York Knicks. So, I mean, obviously the seeding didn't really matter in the end, but it's not about that. It's about having a stellar regular season despite what happened in the playoffs, despite the horrific choke. Jaylen Brown was able to lead this team by himself. Now, a lot of people were concerned about his comments when he said this was one of his favorite seasons, but that was definitely taken out of context. We know that what he meant by that was just how things were looking at the beginning of the season, the doubts people had. People were projecting the Celtics to be a 6, a 7, a 5 seed. So there was a lot of doubt surrounding the team, but Jaylen Brown silenced a lot of that with his play, with how he was able to lead the team. But despite this, folks, as I showed you in the beginning of the video, reports are still coming out during the second round, which is currently happening, of the NBA draft, that the Celtics are still negotiating trade options. They're still taking calls from teams, fielding things, seeing what they could get for Jaylen Brown. So it seems a little more likely than it did before that there's really a chance Jaylen Brown does not end up on this team come October. We have also got more of a full quote from Shams here in talking about that, where he said the following. The Boston Celtics are actively engaged in trade talks surrounding Jaylen Brown with multiple interested teams, and I'm told there is a sense of purpose from teams around the league that they feel from the Celtics in these conversations. That does not mean, though, that a deal is guaranteed, because Jaylen Brown does have 3 years left on his contract. He's got a supermax deal, which was the richest in NBA history at the time, that he's on. From my understanding, the urgency from either side could change as the weeks go on. His status is very much up in the air in Boston. So we have Brad saying a lot of these things, kind of trying to like calm things down, a little bit of damage control. I think Brad Stevens was saying a lot of the right things, but then Shams is still coming out today pushing this notion that the Celtics are being honestly a little bit aggressive in their demeanor towards getting a deal done involving Jaylen Brown. Now, what could some of these packages be? I truly believe that there's not a ton of equitable packages out there now that Giannis is gone and went to the Heat. I don't think there's a ton of players that truly are JB caliber. I think we would have to get an absolute haul for me to see it as worth it in any sort of way. One of the things I've been seeing floated around a lot has been this right here. The Celtics are reportedly interested in moving Jaylen Brown for Evan Mobley. Now, that would fix some of the Celtics' issues with bigs. The Celtics did just drafted Chris Sinak Jr. from Houston. He's kind of a raw, high upside big. You can watch Patrick's video. He talked a lot about it more in depth. He was honestly a really good pick. He was projected to go much higher than the 27th pick. So I think that's a great pick, but Evan Mobley is a proven center in the league. He could fix some of the issues with the team. He's got length. He's a good defender. He can move around. So there's a lot to like about Mobley, but is that equitable for Jaylen Brown? I don't think so, but if there's a lot of other things, a lot of other names and some picks involved in that deal, maybe it could happen. Who is to say? But folks, as promised earlier, I want to give you guys some picks from Prize Picks for some upcoming World Cup matches. The first one is going to be in this USA versus Turkey game. Take Folarin Balogun for more than 1.5 shots in this game. He has been absolutely stellar in the World Cup so far for the USA. He was born in Brooklyn, but was raised in England. He's barely even American, but we'll take him on the team. This guy is a stud. Take him for more than 1.5 shots. And for the next pick, guys, I'm going to tell you about this Dutchman right here, Virgil van Dijk. Take him for less than 94.5 passes attempted. As you can see, he has only gone over that line once in the past 5 games. So certainly take him for less in this spot. He's a defender. He's not always passing as much. He's trying to disrupt things. And against Tunisia, I don't expect him to have to do too much. I think that the Netherlands are certainly going to handle Tunisia in that game. And folks, don't forget that when you sign up for Prize Picks to use code DIGEST if you really want to help support the channel. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. And finally, I want to tell you guys one more thing that I think is a little crazy, and I want to fix it. 66% of you guys that watch these videos here on Celtics Digest are not subscribed to the channel. It is free to subscribe to the channel. As I've said a lot, we're trying to create the largest Celtics community on YouTube. We really want to hear from you guys. Subscribing helps us do that even better. And if you hit the notification bell, you will be notified whenever we post a video. We are posting on here extremely often. We're trying to cover everything with this Celtics team. So please, guys, hit that subscribe button. And thank you again for watching. I'm Kellen Frangione, your host with Celtics Digest, and I will see all of you guys in the next video. Thank you very much.